I'm in a bit of a weird position here, trying to get into the shot and get used to see as much of the house as possible. But the last couple of days have been pretty productive. I started the electricity. Want to give a shout out to Life Inside a Box channel and also Tiny Nest, plus a whole bunch of awesome resources online, including Fine Home Building. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff to search. I'll try and remember to put some links in the video about electrics, but I'm not an electrician, so I'm not going to show you how to do it. It's down to you to find your own information, but I'll link some stuff. Spend a lot of time researching, making sure you're happy and confident if you're going to install your own electrics. I'm going to get an electrician to come and scan over everything before I flick any switches on. Before I actually connect to the mains, so that they can just vet it and make sure all is good. But yeah, it's been cool. You can see I've ran some of the wires here already for all the 120 volt outlets, and just today I started putting up boxes for the lights. I'm going to do the lights on a 12 volt system, and the fans as well. Got a fan in the bathroom, fan in the kitchen. So they'll all be on 12 volts and all the outlets are on 120. Just going to start with that for now. I need to source myself a panel breaker, breaker panel. They don't sell any in this town. It's like an hour and a half drive to the nearest place to buy one. So I've got to figure that out at some point. But in the meantime, I've done all the wiring. So Sorry, the camera just said charge battery, so I was a little bit thought it might have stopped. But I'll quickly finish, and then I'll show you around. So yeah, let's have a look at what I've done so far. Okay, so it's a mess right now. I have not cleared up, but we do have everything wired in here. So this is the front of the house. Outside, there's the service box on the other side of this wall, and so the red I have is 20 amp line, and the others are 15. The 20 amp goes to the kitchen for the two kitchen outlets, because there'll be a Vitamix on there and a toaster, so they'll use the most amount of power. So the red one will take that, and the other two go to, one goes up to the bedroom and then carries on up. So we'll follow it around. One of them serves these outlets, which is like the office area over here, and then they go off into the kitchen. And this is a separate circuit. It's just for the fridge. We're not sure which one we're going to plug the fridge into right now, but one of those two outlets you see is for the fridge, and these are the two outlets for the 20 amp on top of the kitchen counter there. So that's those two, serviced by the red one there. I have installed some light fixtures up here, the little octagon boxes up in the top, and some switches for them down here. Not sure if they're going to stay there or not, but that's done so far. And then one of the other circuits goes up and leads up into the bedroom. And there's another set of lights there. The lights are all going to be on 12 volt. So they're not actually connected to this. This is just for the 120 volt outlets. And inside the outlets, I've done pigtails to link it through into the next one. So it comes from the main breaker box, which will be out there, through along the wire into one of these boxes where they're all tied together. So this white wire has 3 wires in it, one black, one white, and a bare copper. And the black is the hot, the white is the neutral, and the copper one is the ground. And yeah, as I say, make sure you look to see how you do it. I'm not going to tell you how to do it because I'm not trained, and I shouldn't be training you. Okay, so one thing I did think of, which I kind of struggled with, I was putting all the wires in initially, and it just didn't feel right. And so I did a little bit of digging around and figured out that the wire, the outside insulation, so the white insulation, needs to poke into the box by about 1/4 of an inch at least for code. So you see these little holes on top of the boxes. I'm using the metal ones. The plastic ones are way easier to deal with because they just slot straight in. But there's, they could melt and cause a fire. And I wanted to reduce plastic as much as possible. So we got the metal ones, pros and cons to each. But anyway, I was trying to get the wires in. So the wires will feed in to the top and they'll go into the box and then you can deal with them in here. But the insulation needs to poke through and it wouldn't fit through this hole and it didn't feel right. So I wouldn't, had a little play around, called a friend, was trying to figure it out. And turns out, simple mistake, beginner mistake. These little holes on the end, they actually open up and then you can fire the cable straight through into the hole a lot better. And then you can just push that back down or snap it off. But we are using wool in the walls, so I'm going to kind of just push that back down a little bit just to try and stop any wool from potentially going in there. So that, just one little tip for you. These little S-bends here are just in case we make a mistake in this box and then I can pull through extra wire. You need to make sure these wires are fastened to the studs within 8 or 12 inches depending on where you are. And what else have we got? Yeah, then I link so it comes in here, connects all up and then comes back out and then goes up into the bedroom. That specific one goes over into an outlet in the bedroom right there. And that's the termination of that one. So that's just one very small circuit with those few plugs on. And then the other side, I have the red one, which is the 20 amp. That's going to power an in-wall heater, forced air fan heater. And then the other two go and power. One goes to power the bathroom and the second loft. And the other one goes to power all the other outlets and the other side of the bedroom too. So that goes one outlet up to here, goes along to, there's another outlet up there. And this is just a little junction box up here to split it out off to that outlet there. And then it carries on over the doorway, down the other side, and then off to feed the last outlet there. And the other white one simply goes all the way through into the the bathroom. And that will be a GFCI outlet right there. And there'll be another one just up there too for charging razors and things like that. That does then pass through up into the loft where you'll find just a couple more outlets either side of that window. One's behind that pole there. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun installing all that. There's still a lot more work to do. Just thought I'd document it for now. Couple things, maybe the holes that you drill through. There's some rules regarding that, how big they are, how close they are to the edge, how many wires you should run through those holes. Be careful pulling wires through. If one is rubbing against the other one, it can sort of burn through the insulation and you could end up with a bit of bare wire, and that's the last thing you want anywhere in the walls here. Also, when you're trimming the wires, sort of taking the insulation off the end of the wires, you also need to be careful not to cut into the wires inside or into the insulation inside, so there's no bare wire there either. And there's all sorts of information about how big the box should be, how many wires there are, figuring out the cubic inch of the box and how much wire is allowed in there. Also, whether the wires run close together and for how long. So do your research. There's a lot of it out there. And be confident in it. Don't be guessing. If you're not confident, get an electrician to do it. But yeah, so I'm going to figure out the lights and stuff soon. And then we'll be back with more information about that.